Hello, my name is Navigator, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty tired today, so this will be a really quick review. But I did pick this up, like I said yesterday, in my May the 4th, kind of like toy hunt. Grabbed this at Walmart, and there were two different editions of this. There was like the normal edition and the first edition. This came out like weeks ago, and it's kind of been rotting on store shelves, to be honest. But I've recently gotten back into Star Wars, and I wanted to upgrade my Mando figure. Actually, I think I have it right over here. We might as well do a comparison. Where is he? So, here's my current Mandalorian and Grogu. Here's the one that I have. And Grogu's like missing an arm. I think that Mando has since lost that blaster. And the cape is made out of plastic. But this was pretty sweet. I really loved this figure. I even had the first season version of him figure, and then I upgraded that for this one. So this is really cool to have gotten, but I'll throw that over here on the side. But this is definitely an upgrade. And as you can see by the title, it is 100% the Mandalorian Ultimate Edition. But this is technically Mandalorian and Grogu. This is a two-pack almost. So this is kind of a nice benefit. And if you were curious, this was $34. I think it was like $36, $37 max total with tax at Walmart in New York State. But that was still pretty sweet. So with that being said, let's take a look at the figure. The box, really quickly here, you can see there's like a little write-up. It doesn't really say much. It says they're like going to go on an adventure. They don't want to spoil the movie, but here we do have that little first edition thing. I mean, I'm going to toss this box out. I don't really think it's worth that much. And hopefully hopefully I'm not eating my words in the future, but I don't really think the first edition matters too much. There's no difference figure-wise as far as I can tell. But getting into the accessories, the first one we have here is going to be the Beskar jetpack, and that has a really nice finish on it. You know, nice and silver. And there seems to be almost like a little port, like you could put something in there. I'm curious if there was like a flame effect or something. Maybe for the Boba Fett, they just kind of plugged that up. But we also have some cool weapons, and I haven't really watched Season 3 yet, so I'm not sure what this weapon is, but it is some new kind of like bolt action, almost looking sniper rifle that he has, and that is cool. Does this come out? Oh, I thought the magazine came out. It looks like it does. That is really cool, though. A selling point for me was that blaster. I love how that looks. We also have Mando's little trusty knife. Tiny little blade. That's pretty sweet. I like how that looks. And then speaking of blades, we have this really cool, almost like sword. So I guess he's trading out the Darksaber for this almost like Roman Centurion-esque sword. Another really cool selling point for me. Aside from weapons, we also have this extra little hand. And this is for holding either the knife or the sword, I would believe. Definitely for holding smaller gripped things. But finally here, we do have Mando's pistol, which is super cool. I love that. See if we can get a good focus on it. Awesome. And then what does he have? What pistol does he have here? Don't I? Oh, I might not even have a pistol in there. Great, there we go. All right, but moving to the figures, we do have Grogu here, and he's kind of in like a being held, like a climbing position, as opposed to this version, which is kind of like the walking version, but still pretty sweet. And actually, I think this is an update too. He seems to be a little bit larger, probably because he's older too in this version. He even has some hair, it looks like. But yeah, so that is really cool. We got Grogu there. Hopefully I don't mix those up. And then next up, we have the Ultimate Edition Mandalorian. All right, starting at the bottom, pretty typical brown shoes, a whole bunch of just crazy armor and, bandoliers, whatnot going on there. I can't even describe it. Single jointed legs or knees there, but it's a good one. You can really bend that back pretty far, so that is a good advantage. Beskar on the thighs, they are weathered, but they still shine, which is really cool. I love that. We have a holster here for the pistol, and it looks really nice when you throw it in there. I just love how that looks. That is super sweet. Some nice little bells and whistles on the belt there. Very nice. More Beskar on the back. On the arms here, some Beskar, or I should say on the forearms. On the hands, we do have two trigger hands, which is very sweet. Moving up here, some more bandoliers. His tool belt, the Beskar armor piece, which is just awesome. I love how that looks and how it shines. Little, Mandalorian or whatever it is logo on there. And then finally, the helmet. I wish that you could take it off and have his face, but I mean, Mandalorians, they don't really take their mask off, so that's fair. But there is a nice detail in there where you can almost see his face. So if you were to look up, it's not just like black. You can almost see the mask that he wears. What I might do is go pick up one of the unmasked versions of him and maybe like swap out the heads. We'll see. But another really cool thing about this is we do have a cloth cape, and on the bottom there is some tattering, which I love, very Helldivers-esque. It looks like, no, that's tethered on there. I don't really think you can take that off. But here was a look at the back of the figure. if you guys were curious. Now, when I say Ultimate Edition, there is butterfly joints, and I'm not sure how much they're going to work, but as you can see, there's some articulation there, some Ultimate Edition articulation, if I dare say. So that is really cool and definitely worth the investment. I would say for 34 bucks, this is an amazing figure. I mean, you look at the shelves nowadays, most WWE figures, I mean, you're closing in on like 29, 30 bucks at checkout with tax. For 37, you're getting a great Mando figure, literally like the best of the best. This is, I mean, like this is what I thought was the best version of it, and now we have this. That's great. The Grogu is great. There honestly is a lot of articulation with him too. You can move these arms around more than just like up and down. There's honestly like some swivel there. I don't know about the legs per se. You can move the head. And the weapons are great. I mean, I really like the sword. I like the knife. The gun is really cool, the jetpack. Maybe it's just because this figure is new, but they're not bent. Almost all action figures that you get with weapons made of that quality are bent in there. So I really got to hand it to Hasbro for this. And I do like the whole first edition, normal edition gimmick. I think that's kind of cool. I like the all-white packaging. It sticks out to you when you go in there. You're like, what the heck? What are these figures? So I'm not trying to really hype up Hasbro. I'm sure I've gotten burned by them in the past. But I definitely am trying to hype up this figure. This is super cool to get. If you're looking for a Star Wars gift for your friends for 34 bucks, boom, you're done. And if you look for a gift for yourself, 34 bucks, boom, and you're done. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there, quit ranting, and I will be seeing The Mandalorian and Grogu May 22nd. I know it sounds like I'm plugging them, but that's only because I just looked it up before this video. So I'll leave it there, folks. Once again, a review of the Star Wars The Black Series First Edition Mandalorian and Grogu. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.